In today's episode, we travel the roads of Central Florida, coming across an abandoned mansion that has been overtaken by nature. This home was once the dwelling place of a retirement couple who had only abandoned it just around 2 years ago. Much to our surprise, this mansion also still had power. Join us as we explore this mansion and uncover the history behind it.
Saturday, 10:08 a.m.
Hi, Dave. This is David. I need to talk to you about something that happened at the meeting the last time. It's pretty important. Call me back, please.
So we are back for another explore. We're here checking out this abandoned mansion that has everything left behind in it. I'm here with Carter, I'm here with Gray X, and I'm here with Chris. I'll have all their links in the description below. But this still has power. The fridge is even still powered on and keeping things cold, so this place has not been abandoned for that long. When we walked into this mansion, we realized that this house was once owned by a retirement couple, and that there was a greater story that was hidden within the walls of this place. So, I just turned on the power to this room. So look at that. The lights are still on. Off of the kitchen, we have this light that's still lit. They had a beautiful living room over here. I'm gonna try making my way over too carefully. It stinks in this room. In the early 1930s, David was born in a small town in Michigan. From a young age, he showed a keen interest in animals, especially dogs. All these buttons are still in pretty good order. I don't want to turn this on, but because it's so loud. But yeah, this room is jam-packed full of stuff. Fray check, liquid seam sealant. So this lady was definitely into sewing. You've got a sewing machine right there. And a panda in the corner. And then you can tell her love for dogs, because you've got a Great Dane. Like rocks. You had a bunch of sewing supplies right over here. Some fabric right there. This probably hasn't been touched in years. One thing that's interesting, there's these beautiful paintings on the wall. Wow. Another sewing machine down there, it looks like. And more paintings, speakers, and then old cassette players right there. Look at the dining room. Talk about cluttered. This poor lady was probably living in this condition to a certain extent. Look at all this detail right here though. I've got china figurines, some dish stuff. A lot of these may be antiques. $10 quarter rolls. As David would get older, he would begin to attend high school and start planning for his future, which included college. Her china cabinet right here. Look at the Great Dane cups. Both of them. And then china teacups. I bet you these sets are worth some money. But we never take anything from the house. Wow. Beautiful door. They had a nice little chandelier here. Some more paintings. After David graduated from high school, he began to attend college and focused on business and agriculture. The power's still on in this place, as I've said many times before, but you can get a look at what this dining room used to look like. Look, you can change the light. Here, flip it. So I can go. It's so crazy.
That is crazy.
Every corner of this house has stuff in it.
Yeah, no, there's like, it's hard to know like where to exactly look.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So this gentleman was a Korean War veteran. So that was in the 1950s. David would graduate college after several years, and he would get a job working with farmers, teaching them how to improve their crops and agriculture. So up in the main entrance, they have a little nightlight that's still here. A little picture of an owl. So we're gonna take a left first. A horse picture. Whoa. See that? That just turned this light on right here when I turn this. There's so much stuff left behind it here. I just can't really get too far back in here. Oh, look at this. Something just ran under there like a little critter. So one thing I've noticed about this room is that they have pictures of the shows that their dogs were in. Look at that. I can't really get back to there because this is piled up with stuff, but those are pictures of dog shows that they would have been a part of. So they took their dogs to shows just to perform. They have a Asian lamp. I don't know the exact terminology of that. There's an Asian lamp in that corner, and somebody flipped this bed over. Got bears and stuff in the corner. There's so much detail in here. I don't even know where to begin. This place is a complete time capsule. David actually disliked this job, as he thought he could learn more from the farmers themselves than they could learn from him. And then they had their picture right there. This bathroom has been ransacked. Still has a lot of stuff up behind in it though. The shower still has their shower supplies and things like that. That's wild, and I bet you this light still turns on. Yep. Whoa. So they had off of this bathroom there. Looks like their main bedroom. Wow. What the heck? I keep on stepping on things. And it keeps on making noises. But they've just piled up their stuff under here. Whoa. Let's see. They have a pretty new flat screen TV here, considering. Let's see. Is there a remote to this anywhere? Let me just see. Maybe we can turn this on. Power. It was around this time that David decided to do a career change, and he was believing that he was about to get drafted into the Korean War. So instead, he just enlisted. I tell you, this fan does feel amazing. It's unbelievable how nice this feels right now. He also had tons of books here. And then piled up here, a little nightstand with like figurines for Christmas. And then all of her clothing's just piled up on the bed. Got an old photo here though too. David would serve as a radio man in the Navy, and he was eventually honorably discharged. His time in the military would give him a drive for adventure and travel. This was like her jewelry drawer, and it's been absolutely ransacked. I think somebody may have stolen her jewelry. She had multiple of them. Oh my word. There's just so much stuff. Her makeup area too. This is where she might have gotten ready in the morning. Look at that closet. Looks like they had maybe a scale. There's a little scale right here. Look at this old scale. Just in the living, or not the living room, but the hallway. Once David was finished with the military, he began a business career which saw him becoming a partner of the Holiday Inn hotel franchise. This place is extremely creepy.
Yeah, once I walk through here, just kind of show it how they put the lights back on.
They had a bird, it looks like.
But this is exactly how
Maybe multiple. So there's a bird cage right here. And then there's just this decay through the wall. There's a hole right there.
Yeah, this is where I did my intro.
This place is in horrible shape though. Another example of power still being on. This phone. It was also around this time that David met somebody else that was going to be very important in his life. His future wife, Jane. As we uncovered a lot of information on the bottom floor, it was now time to check out the top floor. So we're going to make our way upstairs safely. And we're going to hit the right first. Whoa, oh my goodness. Oh, wow. There's like a master bedroom here. Jane and David would get married in Boulder, Colorado, and then shortly move after that. So this room is absolutely incredible, as it has a fireplace, and it has old furniture up here. I've got to be extremely careful because it's starting to cave in over there. But look at the lights that they had. So one thing that's for certain, this place is definitely a little bit of a fire hazard. I do wonder if the AC still turns on. No, it's not even plugged in. I'm not going to try to plug that in. That thing is hanging on by a thread. Look at this bed. This might have been originally the main room. This is the biggest bed right here. This is a beautiful mansion right here. But you had a light right there. A little music box. It's not going to play anymore, but that's too bad. We're going to make our way around this room because they've got another hallway over here. This was the bathroom. Look at all the clothing. It's just lined up here. There's so much stuff left behind here. You get a watch right down there. Multiple actually, there's 3 watches here. Some pills. Just so much supplies left behind in this closet. It's really sad when you see a house like this. This was lived in for many, many years. So I'm getting called by Carter, and we're gonna do a fridge pull. I kind of want to stay back. Are we ready?
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. That doesn't look too bad, actually.
Yeah, the fridge is saving it.
The fridge being on is what's saving it.
Yeah. This house hasn't been abandoned that long. Look at those Hershey's puddings. I'm about to grab some of those.
The fridge, and it's still blowing cold air. That's how good this place is still in shape. Like, this fridge is still freezing. Fortunately for us, we were spared of a smelly household because the power was still keeping the fridge running and the food cold in there. After checking out the fridge pull, I moved back to my Explorer upstairs. So I turned off the lights just to be respectful. We're gonna make sure we leave this place like we found it. But yeah, wrapped around here is it's like some bedding stuff and some more sheets. It's been sitting in this closet for years. Here, the shower over here though. Are we ready? See if this turns on. Whoa, that light just turned on. This is so eerie. This bathroom has a tub in it. This used to be where the toilet was, you can tell. This is emptied. Yet another sewing machine. That's an old Singer. Actually, you had two of them. 2 sewing machines. They also, in this room, had an old vacuum. This is an old Electrolux. If any of you still have this vacuum, comment in the description below what year this was, as Electrolux is an extremely famous brand. In here, they had some more shirts and things like that. Shortly after Jane and David were married, they moved to New Mexico, where they got into real estate. So that's a lot of the upstairs. You have a couple of ventilation ducts right over there. Not much left behind in that closet, but that's probably the highlight, was that room right there. Gonna make our way down. Let me show you something. So one of the things right here that's interesting is they had like a living room down here. Oh my word. They had like the family crest right there. That's wild. One of the other things David would do while he was in New Mexico was get his pilot's license. So there was a nice flat screen TV right there. One of the more interesting things is that globe in that corner right there. You had a beautiful fireplace right here that actually is the same chimney that the other fireplace was at, so that's pretty cool. Something interesting about this TV is actually a flat screen curved TV. It looks like it's a newer Samsung TV. Oh, it's not that old. It's wild. He and Jane would fly back and forth from New Mexico to Mexico. One thing I found here. Yo. You've got an old recording machine right here. Sanyo. Yeah, I've got it out of the pack. It's an old antique tape recorder right here. That is wild. It had a little small micro cassette player that you could put into here. They have a little cat right there. And then a Great Dane. And then off of this area is where you can actually get to the garage. This is so packed full of stuff, it's not even funny. And it's still working. This freezer still works at the fridge, and the freezer still works at this place.
Saturday, 10:08 a.m.
Hi, Dane. This is David. I need to talk to you about something that happened at the meeting last time. It's pretty important. Call me back, please.
Thursday, 10:49 a.m.
Dane, this is Dave. I'm sorry I won't be there tonight. Thank you.
So there's still messaging.
Messages.
The messaging machine still works here. That's incredible. They have a few washers and dryers, or a washer and dryer over there, and then a rinse bin, and like a catch-all storage closet. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff up behind here, but unfortunately it's so tough to get around. It's impossible almost. And then this is what the kitchen looks like when you're walking up at the stairs. In the next couple of years, David and his wife would take their family and move to Central Florida. There's gonna be stuff left in these cabinets, I know. Yep. There's their pans cabinet. There's their cookbook cabinet. They've got all the cookbooks in there. A little bit of clover honey. We're gonna take a guess. Utensils. Nope. Paper and catch-all. Wow, that's old. It was in Florida that they would start several new businesses, including breeding Great Danes. One thing that we've noticed about this house is that they were Great Dane owners. Carter, what were you saying? These folks were... The gentleman was the head of the Great Dane Association of this town?
The dog club, like dog breeding club.
Really? That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So they love their animals. And everything. Everywhere. Just look at this. There's a dog. So we were looking for the silverware box and somebody just found it.
I think he was there when you were here.
They've got golden
Because Trevor went up there.
silverware. There's still stuff in the cabinets. You've got a Trump castle. Wait, is this? Almost looks like medical marijuana. No, that's just spices. As we discovered later in the Explore, David and Jane would run the Great Dane Association in their town. They also would take their dogs to many shows, competing all across the state. So they've got a beautiful front door right here. Tons of dust and cobwebs. I don't know if you can hear that, but the doorbell still works. Ready, guys? Oh my word, that's so cool. David and Jane would soon move into the very house that we were exploring today. For our next phase of the Explore, we went outside to see what was left behind there. They had a beautiful property right here. A beautiful nature overlook that's severely decayed. Structure starting to cave down. This is a gorgeous little area to just enjoy a sunset. There's another massive crate for their Great Dane. And then just a really cool setup over here. Something out front is that there's an RV right here. at how old this RV is. They used to have a bed right here that you could sleep on. And this is probably from the 1970s or 80s. This floor is completely rotten. Table's been pretty destroyed. This place is in extremely poor shape. Let's see if I can make my way back into here. I've got to be extremely careful. I don't like this. It's so decayed. That was the bedroom over there. Later in their retirement years, David and Jane would actually purchase an RV that they would take to their dog shows all throughout the country. This is a very beautiful Spanish vibe to it. It's definitely been overtaken by ferns and creatures. Look at how many ornaments. There's a little garden here. This probably used to be beautiful. Sadly, in the early 2020s, David was getting older and his health began to fail. So, the main house right there. They had two little sheds. A dog pen right there. And then a little shed that's near the main road, so I'm not gonna go there. Just right here is the main driveway. Overgrown completely. There's the back of the camper right there. Sadly, in 2023, David would pass away, and his wife would move into an assisted living facility shortly after. Their family would soon let this house go into disarray, leaving it to vandals and the weather. Over time, the neglect would get to it, and that is the state that we found it in today. Thank you for joining us on this explore, and we hope you watch another one of our videos. Take care and have a good rest of your day.